Welcome to Dr. Dispatch Tutorials. In today's video, we're going to go over how to properly open a QuickBooks company file over a network. Now, the reason we go to all this trouble, you can't take a company file, have it on, say, your hard drive, then bring another person in on the network that also has QuickBooks. They can also open that company file, so you're both one or the other in it, together working on it. But to do this, you have to have a path across your network that both PCs see exactly the same. Now, try to put this in better terminology. We'll start off with the Windows Explorer. Um, Open it up, and by default, QuickBooks installs. Now, we'll start at the beginning. I'm on the C drive. So we start on your C drive by default. Users, open that up. All users, go back over that. When you open all users, you should see an Intuit folder, and open that up. And I've got a bunch of stuff, but mine's not like most, but it would be under Intuit, your QuickBooks version, and it should say company files and sample files. You can share that folder, which is the easiest. You could share the entire Intuit folder if you would like by doing share with. That's right click on Intuit, share or share with, and go with specific people. Then here, drop the list down and choose everyone and hit the share button. Now I'm using Windows 8, pretty similar on all of them. So we're going to change. What it's doing is it's sharing all folders under Intuit. That's easy. You're sure to get your folder and your company file shared that way. And you can undo that if you want to by right click and share with and stop sharing. But by default, your QuickBooks company files under users, all users, usually Intuit, and then it'll be QuickBooks 2015 or something, whatever you have, and it'll say company files, sample files, and you should be able to drill down through there and find your company file. Now what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a folder on the hard drive from scratch. I'm going to right click my C drive and do a new folder. I'm going to call it, I'm going to put an underscore so it shows up at the alphabetically at the first of the list, shared QuickBooks, and just hit enter. And that's why I put the underscore. It keeps it up here where it's easy to find for our reference. Now what I'm going to do here, I need to get my company files in it. Now mine, I've had a couple of folders here I've been using, and mine's under here. When you find your file, your company file, now this is only if you want to move it. I'm moving it to show some folks are going to want to get it on a server or on a D drive or some other drive or a network drive, and this is how you do it. Find your company file under users, all users, Intuit. Find it by it'll always have your company name in the beginning, and get all the files by holding the shift button while you click to select them all. Right click and copy. Now there again, this is all an extra step. If you have your Intuit folder, you can just share it like we did a while ago and move on. But I'm doing this just to show everybody how to get a proper shared folder created. And I'm going to right click and paste these files I copied over here onto this new folder, and these were already here, so I'm going to put them back in. So in that shared QuickBooks folder, I have the files now. Now, final step, we already did this on the other Intuit folder. Right click, share with, and you can do the create or join a home group. I think it's got a level of difficulty we don't need. Just go with specific people, and once again choose everyone from the list. Don't worry about passwords, it just complicates things. And once that's done, and by the way, there's your path we're looking to eventually get, backslash, backslash, the name of the PC, Delpad in this case, backslash, the name of the folder. Pretty simple. Now, we're almost ready to do this. Now, the one thing you need to know, what's the name of your PC on the network? There again, Windows 8. I'm going to right click the Windows button, not left click, but right click, and see, I think I go to System. There we go. You can get this by just right-clicking My Computer if you have a desktop icon on Windows 7 or below. And once you open the Systems view, you're going to know it's going to show you about your Windows, your processor, how much memory, and most importantly down here, the computer name on the network, in this case Delpad. And your work group, all this has to be working on where Windows, one PC can see each other on the network. That all has to be working at this point. You're going to want at least 2 installs of QuickBooks to do what we're going to do, meaning on 2 PCs. Now that doesn't mean you have to have it. This will work with one, but there's no reason to go to the trouble to do all this if there's just one PC accessing the file. If there's more than one, you're going to want to do what we're doing here. Get the computer name, Delpad. Make a note of that. You can go ahead and close that screen. And we've made the folder. We've shared it. Right click and did the share with. We put the files in it. Now we go back to QuickBooks. Now what you do is you do open or restore an existing company. Press that button, open a company file, next. Bear with me a second. Now, this is where it's different. You're not going to go to your PC, and this is on any computer with QuickBooks on the network. You're going to browse one time to the network, find your computer name, Delpad. Remember we looked on the property screen and got the computer name. Double click your computer name and find the name of the shared folder. And I have the shared QuickBooks we did a while ago. So I'll double click that, and right inside of there is the transport company file. I select it, hit open, and now we've opened this file across the network on a path that any PC can use as long as it's on this network. Now let me show you what the path looks like to this file once it gets done opening here. You do a file, bear with me, file, open previous company, and you'll see how it's got no drive letter, backslash, backslash, followed by the computer name, followed by the folder name, and finally the file name. Everybody that's on the network using QuickBooks on a network or in a shared situation is going to want to open and browse to this file and open it. Now once you do this one time, like we have, we browsed and opened this across the network. I'm going to close QuickBooks, and it's gonna go right back into it. We're going to reopen it. And log in here. Remember, it's always best to log in as administrator in QuickBooks when you're doing these sorts of things, because some users have restricted permissions in QuickBooks and the integration won't work. Okay, so it went right in. Now, for people out there that are thinking, well, how do I get to the open file screen? Well, it always opens your company file. Either don't log in and hit cancel, or go file, close company file, and you're going to get back to a list of at least 2 to 4 of the last attempts you've made. They all look the same. You say, well, highlight one, and you'll see the path down below. This was shared QuickBooks. This was shared underscore QuickBooks. So these are different paths, and this one here was another network path. You just select it, and then once you open it, then it stores that and will open the next time automatically. So going back and recap here, we went an extra step or two further here by creating a folder on the hard drive, sharing that folder, putting the company files into that folder, and doing it that way. Understand the simple way to do this is, if QuickBooks is just a simple default install, which it should be, open your Explorer, open your C drive, come down to Users, open that up, Users, open it, All Users, open it, find your Intuit folder, and it's best to find where it does say Company Files. Right click and simply share with specific people, everyone. Like we've already done this, hit share, let it do its thing. There's your path, it's done. Now you would go browse to that location the same as we just did, and you wouldn't be copying any files. We did it the hard way. to make sure folks out there that need to move their company file to a server location have the full set of instructions. Alrighty, so find your files, right click, share the folder with everybody. Go in, open your company file once. You can close it if you need to and browse across the network. And we're going to do this. I'm going to do this one more quick time for you here. We're gonna open or restore. Make sure that's checked. Hit next. Click the network first. Know your computer name. Del pad. Double click. Find your shared folder. Double click. Select your company file. Open. There you go, and do your login. Now, one thing in closure here, whenever you're doing your trucking or brokerage invoicing and you are on the export screen here, if this path is in red like it is now, that means that path is no good. That means that path cannot be seen by this computer and it's useless. Anything in red is not going to work. Buttons grayed out. I did this intentionally. I changed all the names of the shared folder I was using, but didn't close Dr. Dispatch. Now I will close Dr. Dispatch and reopen it, and it will reread that QuickBooks company file path, and that will not be in red any longer once I get everything changed. So at any rate, once everything's set up, you've got it open that way, then you can go to Dr. Dispatch Setup, QuickBooks Setup Now. There again, my path's already correct. Yours might probably say something like this, where it would have a C : / or something starting off, or some other drive. What we want to do is change that, and in this case I'm going to do brokerage and trucking, so I'm going to go to my brokerage. Make sure you have your company file open in QuickBooks as well. And you've already set up QuickBooks in the past, so it should all be working. Just press this button right here, and this will change that as it just did to match what's open. Trucking, if you need to, do the same thing. Watch this change here. See? All updated. Don't even have to save it, close it. And now even your QuickBooks integration with Dr. Dispatch is totally ready to go on that new network path we just created. Alrighty, everybody have fun. Thanks for stopping by. See you next video.